The letter arrived on a cold, windy afternoon on the white plains of the American West. Karl Weber stood outside his struggling ranch near a small German immigrant settlement, staring at fields that had turned dry and lifeless. Once, tall grass had swayed here, feeding dozens of cattle. Now the ground was cracked, the barn roof sagged, and the windmill barely turned in the weak wind. Karl opened the envelope slowly, his rough hands trembling slightly. Inside was a short message from the town agent who handled the mail order arrangements. "Your bride will arrive on Thursday." Karl exhaled deeply. Months earlier, he had written the letter out of desperation. Many German immigrants in the region had done the same, men who had land but no family, no help, and no future alone. Karl never thought anyone would answer. His ranch was dying, his cattle were nearly gone, and the bank was preparing to take everything. Yet somehow, someone had agreed to come. Thursday morning arrived with a pale gray sky. Karl rode his horse into town as the stagecoach rolled in, kicking up dust along the dirt street. Several townspeople stood nearby, curious about the woman brave enough to travel across the ocean and the plains to marry a man she had never met. The stagecoach door opened. A young woman stepped down carefully, holding a modest leather suitcase. Her coat was simple but neat, and a scarf protected her from the cold wind. Her eyes were calm and observant, quietly studying the unfamiliar town. She approached Karl. "Herr Weber?" she asked in soft German. Karl nodded, slightly surprised to hear his native language after so long. "Yes. I'm Karl." "My name is Anna Fischer," she said gently. "It's nice to finally meet you." Her voice carried a quiet confidence that Karl hadn't expected. Many mail-order brides arrived frightened or uncertain, but Anna stood calmly, as if she had already faced greater challenges in life. They rode back toward the ranch together. As the horse carried them across the open land, Anna looked carefully at everything: the worn fences, the thin cattle, the distant hills that seemed dry and silent. After a long moment, she spoke. "It's worse than you described in your letter." Karl gave a tired smile. "I didn't want to scare you away." Anna looked ahead at the barren fields. "I'm not easily scared." When they reached the ranch house, Karl felt embarrassed. The small wooden home had seen better days. The paint had faded, and the porch leaned slightly to one side. "This is it," he said quietly. Anna stepped inside and placed her suitcase down. She walked slowly through the house, examining the shelves, the kitchen, the wooden beams in the ceiling. Karl waited nervously by the door. Finally, she turned toward him. "You're about to lose the ranch, aren't you?" she asked calmly. Karl hesitated before answering. "Yes. In 2 months, maybe less. The bank won't give me more time." Anna nodded thoughtfully. "Then we must begin immediately." Karl blinked. "Begin what?" "Saving it." Over the next several days, Anna asked many questions. She walked the land with Karl, examining the soil and the pasture. She climbed the old windmill tower to inspect its broken blades and rusty pump. She studied Karl's ranch records late into the night. Karl began to wonder what she was searching for. One evening, while sitting at the wooden kitchen table, Anna looked up from a small notebook. "Karl," she said, "did you ever grow clover or alfalfa here?" Karl shook his head. "Not enough water. This land is too dry." Anna smiled slightly. "Not if we use the right method." The next morning, Anna finally revealed the secret skill she had kept quiet about. "My father was an agricultural engineer in Germany," she explained. "Before he passed away, he taught me how to study land and find hidden water sources." Karl stared at her in surprise. "Hidden water?" She nodded and pointed toward the old windmill. "Your ranch once had a working water pump. According to your records, it used to draw water from an underground stream." Karl's eyes widened. "I thought that stream dried up years ago." Anna shook her head gently. "It did disappear. It simply shifted underground." She explained her plan: repair the windmill, redirect the underground water through small irrigation channels, and plant fast-growing crops that could restore the soil and feed the cattle. Karl listened carefully, but doubt still filled his mindestens. "That kind of work costs money," he said quietly. Anna opened her suitcase and removed a small cloth pouch. Inside were several carefully folded banknotes. "My savings," she said. Carl looked shocked. "You would spend your savings on my ranch? You barely know me." Anna looked at him calmly. "I know what it feels like to watch a farm die," she said softly. "Our family nearly lost ours once. A stranger helped us rebuild." She paused. "Now it's my turn to help someone else." For the next several weeks, Carl and Anna worked harder than Carl had ever worked before. Together they repaired the windmill piece by piece. Anna designed irrigation trenches across the land, carefully guiding the water flow. The townspeople watched with curiosity. Some quietly whispered that the effort was useless. But then something remarkable happened. One windy afternoon, the repaired windmill began to turn again. Slowly at first, creaking and groaning like an old machine waking from sleep. Then water began to rise through the pump. Clear water flowed into the troughs and through the irrigation channels Anna had built. Carl stood silently, staring at the darkening soil as the first water touched the land in months. Hope returned. Within weeks, small green shoots appeared across the fields. The cattle began eating fresh clover, growing stronger each day. Word spread through nearby settlements that Karl Weber's dying ranch was coming back to life. Soon the bank representative arrived to inspect the land. Carl expected the worst. But when the man saw the green fields and the flowing water, his expression changed. "Well," the banker said slowly, "this ranch has a future again." The loan was extended. The ranch was saved. That evening, Carl and Anna sat together on the porch as the sun set over the plains. The young green crops moved gently in the wind, and the windmill turned steadily behind them. Carl looked at her with deep gratitude. "You could have chosen any ranch, any farmer," he said. "Why come here?" Anna thought quietly before answering. "Because someone once helped my family when we had nothing," she said softly. "A stranger believed in us when we had already lost hope." She looked out at the fields. "I wanted to do the same for someone else." Months passed, and the ranch flourished again. The pastures filled with cattle, the barn was repaired, and laughter returned to the once silent home. Whenever people asked Carl how he saved his ranch, he always smiled and gave the same answer. "I did save it," he said. "My wife did." But deep down, Carl knew the truth. Anna had saved more than the land. She had restored something far more important, his belief that kindness, courage, and a single act of compassion can change a person's entire life. And sometimes, the greatest miracles arrive quietly, carrying nothing more than a suitcase, a secret skill, and a heart determined to help someone else stand again.